In order to get started on time, we're going to get started now. First, I just want to say good evening. Thank everyone for coming. I'm going to take the additional opportunity to introduce Mr. Johnny Curtis. He's going to be kind of our sergeant at arms tonight. He'll have the authority to ask you just to be respectful of others and each other's time. And if you can't accept that, he'll ask you to leave. He's going to lead us in prayer to begin with, and then we'll stand for the pledge. Stand.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We ask you to guide us and direct us through this evening. Although there will be differences of opinion, Lord, we just pray that your peace and your spirit will be with us as we move through this evening. We thank you once again for the blessings that we have and the freedoms that we have and we enjoy. We thank you for our servicemen, and we thank you for those that provide the protection. Forgive us of our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Just to kind of give a rundown of how this is going to work, I'm going to give a brief statement followed by Chief St. Cyr, his presentation, and then we'll open up the floor for questions and comments. Again, I truly appreciate your presence this evening. It means that you care about the direction the city needs to go. Within the past year or so, I became somewhat familiar with the fire department operations. I was appalled, ashamed, and disgusted to see the working conditions of our firemen. I was concerned for their safety and those who our firemen serve, the citizens of Harahan. I was perplexed at how a service so basic to our existence as a city could be ignored for years, if not decades. This became a priority of mine through the campaign and upon taking office. As an elected representative, I must do what is right for the city of Harahan at large. I understand that some may disagree with the methods or timing, but I knew that for the good of our city, this could not be kicked down the road any longer. I proposed ordinance 2019-13 after several long and intense conversations with Chief St. Cyr and Mayor Bodier. In sum, the ordinance would add a monthly charge to each water bill for each unit within Harahan. This proposal started a conversation within this city that had been avoided for a long time. I completely understand that this is a big ask for every citizen in this city. I also understand that some will not be able to afford any fee added whatsoever, and we should and will find a way to help those who cannot. Reality is, however, a vast majority of Harahan can afford to pay for the services which they benefit. With all of that said, I don't think there's any disagreement that the fire department needs funding and they need it soon. The disagreement comes on how we get that funding. We, as a council and a mayor, have heard what the citizens are saying, and at the May meeting, I'm going to recall this ordinance from consideration. This conversation, however, needs to continue because this is a real issue, and we must face it as a city. I hope that you will continue to contribute to the conversation the best you can. With that, I'll use Chief St. Cyr for his presentation. Councilman Jason Asbill. Yes, sir, Asbill. A-S-B-I-L-L. I bet you want to walk on Randolph, sir. Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Todd St. Cyr. I'm the fire chief of the city of Harahan. We're here tonight because I was approached by several councilmen and asked, what do you need from the fire department? Sorry. You got it. Thank you. We're here tonight because I was approached by several councilmen and the mayor and asked exactly what do we need for the fire department? How do we secure the future for these guys? And how do we secure a future for Harahan and fire protection? The only thing that I have to turn to are the NFPA standards and our knowledge that we've gained over the years of how to provide fire protection for you. And with that came the numbers. The numbers are high. I understand that. It's tripled the budget that we have now. I understand that. It's a hard pill for anyone to swallow, and we don't want to just ram it down your throat. That would be ridiculous. As much as I feel for my men, because they have anxiously anticipated and hoped and wished for something to happen sooner than later, we hope that at some point we're able to convince the council to put a comprehensive package together to put on the ballot. A millage package, you know, I think that we should ask for what we need, not something that we can just get by on. That's what we've done for years and years. Nobody ever wanted to put what we needed on the ballot. They wanted to put just enough to get by. Well, after many nights of standing out on fire scenes with these guys, 2 or 3 of them at a time, and off-duty guys coming, yeah, I've been concerned for them for a really long time, and I've expressed so. I have budget presentations going back to 2000, 2001, asking for 24 additional personnel. I have stood in front of the council at council meetings over and over again, asking for help, trying to help you and trying to help them. You know, Facebook, how many people have Facebook? Facebook has caused a big divide in our community. And the things that we're seeing and the attacks that are being brought on people is a shame. The false narratives that are created is not good for our community. We need to get together, come together, and talk about the issues, not the personal attacks because who supported who for a candidate for mayor. We have a mayor now, his name is Tim Bodier. We had a mayor last year, her name was Tina Maselli. We don't know who our mayor is going to be in 4 years. I know I've dealt with several of them. I try to work with all of them. I'm not here to politic against the mayor, it's never what I did. But I also shouldn't be persecuted because my wife took a position in the race. People call others misogynistic because they say that they try to control their wives and won't let them speak. Well, I don't control mine. And she took a position and she can do that. Had people say that they saw me on Facebook, that they saw me handing out Tim Bodier t-shirts at the house on Dosha. Well, that's a lie. Didn't happen. I'm a civil servant. I'm not an elected official. I'm a civil servant. And that would be improper. I even told the people at the time, well, then file a complaint. If I'm politicking, then file a complaint. The attacks have to stop. Been accused of sitting on my hands while my men suffer and not doing anything. As Chief Walker is fighting for his department and I just sit on my hands and do nothing, nothing could be further from the truth. You know who knows that? Those guys. And that's all that needs to know it. I don't have to prove anything to anyone, but those guys. Facebook has been used as a tool to attack those who don't support the candidate that they support. It's been used to go after other politicians who may endorse another politician in order to devalue that politician's endorsement. It hurts the community. Love, like, hate Paul Johnson. Paul Johnson's been good to the city of Harahan. As our councilman, he has looked back, he has not forgotten Harahan, he has given us money, but if you look on Facebook, he's the worst thing ever. And that's just horrible. I get that. I just have to get a few things straight, because when you attack me on Facebook and you attack my men on Facebook, I'm going to stand up for those guys as well. So, the fire department, let's talk about it. I've been waiting to do this with the public for years, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you, sir. So just to put things into perspective for you, I want to ask you, what would you do if you were the fire chief? I'm going to tell you, Miss Judy Johnson, that we have no fire trucks. We have no fire station. We have no firemen. We have no fire chief. But 365 days from now, we're going to have a fire that you have to prepare for. You're now the chief. What do you do?
I'd ask for volunteers first.
Volunteers, right? That's going to do it? What do you guys think about that? We'd love to have volunteers, Ms. Judy. It's just not a fact of society today. Ms. Tommy brought out that 72 firemen exist, or volunteers exist in West Wego. How many of those firemen are card-carrying firemen, card-carrying volunteers, and how many of them actually put on the gear and go fight fires?
All of them, according to the mayor of West Wego.
Okay, they all go in and fight fire, all 72 of them. Well, they're doing better. If they have 72 volunteers in the department, they're doing better than most volunteer fire companies in this. It's 75, okay, we stand corrected. They're doing better than most volunteer fire companies in this country. 3rd District, 9 Mile Point, most of the, or all of the departments on the West Bank that have volunteer companies all have paid staff. They can't do it with volunteers alone. I've never turned down volunteers. We had volunteers. I don't know, I am the city fire chief. I cannot, by law, run a volunteer fire company or even be in the volunteer fire company as a member. I most certainly can't be the president or the chief or continue. That's not proper. We had a volunteer fire company that went away. We used to be able to put a fireman in a burning building after 40 hours of training. We can't do that anymore. It takes 240 hours worth of training. And they have to be state certified, which has been the biggest problem nationwide, is that getting that certification and keeping up with the continued training is not something that is real conducive to today's fast-paced society. And we suffered from that in Harahan. We knew a long time ago, this is nothing new. This is 10, 15 years old in Harahan. We've done nothing to get the help that we need. I don't want to come to your house with just 3 guys. It's not what it takes to get the job done. I need a pump operator. I need to cut the utilities and gas and electricity. I need water supply. I need to size up the building. We need a fire attack team. We need a rescue team. We need a rapid intervention team. We need to do ventilation, and we need an incident commander. How do we get all those tasks done when we arrive at your house with 3 men? So you said you would do it with volunteers. So what else would you need, Miss Judy? You would need fire trucks. You would need, I'll take it from there if you don't mind. You're gonna need fire trucks. You're gonna try to do everything you can if you're tasked with having to respond 365 days from now to a house fire where the potential for someone to be trapped, or you're gonna be told that someone is trapped, or someone will be trapped in that building. You're gonna do everything you can to prepare yourself the best that you can for that task. And that's all that I'm trying to do, and that's all that I've been trying to do. It's not fortunate that it costs what it does. I don't put the price tag on these things. All we can do is propose that to the council and to the citizens of Harahan. If you don't want to pay it, then you're not going to pay it. I'm going to run through just a couple of short videos. I had an entire presentation that would cover the $40 fee that would have been put on the water bill, but there's really no need at this point to go through that. But I have a couple of little videos I'll show.
You may have heard about NFPA 1710, the industry standard for career fire departments. But what is it? And what does it mean for our community? Your house is on fire. It's your worst nightmare. In just 3 minutes, a fire can grow 16 times larger than when it started. And it continues to grow bigger and faster every second. Once the clock starts ticking, there's a shrinking window of opportunity to save lives and property. You want a full crew of firefighters to put it out quickly, or you may suffer a catastrophic loss. But how many are enough? 50, 20, 40? How do you decide? Fortunately, there's an internationally recognized industry standard. It's called NFPA 1710, and it's based on scientific evidence and research that establishes how many firefighters are needed to put out each fire and rescue anyone trapped. At a fire scene, you want a firefighter doing every job that needs to be done to save you and your house. And at a fire, there's a lot that needs to be done, like stretching the hose, hooking to a hydrant, searching for trapped people, venting the hot gases, and much more. For a low-hazard single-family house fire, NFPA 1710 specifies a minimum of 15 firefighters dispatched in the initial alarm. At an open-air strip shopping center or garden apartment fire, the standard specifies a minimum of 28 firefighters dispatched in the first alarm. And for fires in high-rise buildings at least 7 stories tall, the data show that the initial dispatch should be for a minimum of 43 firefighters, and that fire departments should send additional firefighters to situations that are beyond the capability of the initial alarm. When considering crew size on each engine and truck responding to a fire, the standard says that in low-hazard response areas like residential neighborhoods, the required number of firefighters on each fire engine and truck is 4. In areas with a high number of incidents or geographic restrictions like narrow roads, single-access bridges, or islands, a minimum of 5 firefighters on each fire engine and ladder truck is required. And in dense urban areas with high hazard occupancies like high-rise buildings, the minimum number of firefighters on each fire engine or truck is 6. Regardless of the type of property, 1710 also sets the time of arrival on scene within 4 minutes for the first engine with 4 firefighters. The 1710 standard for both response time and crew size is based on scientific evidence, not opinion. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, known as NIST, and its partners conducted extensive research to document the optimal crew sizes for various types of structures. As a decision maker, you and firefighters share a common goal. Everyone gets out alive. So when a house is on fire, just remember, it takes a minimum of 15 firefighters to put it out. And the responding crews should have the right number of firefighters on each engine and truck. The quicker the response time, the better the outcome for everyone. For more information, talk to your local firefighters. Thanks for listening, and stay safe.
So where we are right now, I'll go through part of the presentation. All of it won't be necessary after what Councilman Asbill stated. Right now, our current budget is $972,000, and this is how the money comes through 5 mills, fire insurance tax, fire fees, and general fund. Right now, we have 1 chief, 7 firefighters, 3 captains, and 1 chief, 1 assistant chief. Total of 12 staff employees. What we need to better comply with those NFPA standards that we just saw would be a chief, 27 firefighters, 3 captains, 1 assistant chief, 6 swing shift part-time firefighters that would give us 2 additional people 24 hours a day, and 1 safety and training officer position for a total of 39 employees. Our current immediate needs are we definitely need 1 fire truck. Within about 5 years, we're gonna need another fire truck. We need radio equipment, SCBA equipment, turnout gear, thermal imaging cameras, rescue jaws of life equipment that are about 35 years old on our trucks, hoses and nozzles. for a total of about 1.3 or 1.4 million dollars. That's our capital needs. Fire station repairs, it's unknown. We're gonna have to get, yeah. Here's the things that we do for you, the citizens of Harahan. We respond to structure fires, car accidents. We do rope trench, water, collapse rescue, medical first responder, severe injury treatment, heart attacks, respiratory distress, en route patient care. Training, elderly assistance for falls and breaks, MITS assistance. If you can't get to your vehicle or to the MITS truck, we'll go out there and help you get to it. We do investigations, hazardous material first response, fire alarm response, fire prevention. We do smoke detector installation. If you need smoke detectors in your home, you don't have them, we'll come put them in for you at no cost to you. Education, we go to the schools, speak at civic groups, and educate people about fire prevention. Child passenger safety, car seat installation. We do pre-incident planning, hydrant inspections, storm and disaster response, and community event participation. And I guess now we'll just open it up to questions. Thank you.
If you have questions or comments, please come up to the mic over there, or wherever. I guess we can turn this one around. And just state your name and your address, just like we would at the council meeting.
Okay.
So everybody knows who you're talking to.
I'll just take a minute. I'm Tommy Davis Duffy, and I live at 134 Crislaw. And first of all, I want to tell you and the whole crowd here, my dad loves you, and he loves each and every one of y'all. You came to my house a few years ago and you put a shed out, and that doesn't sound like it was big, but it was melting things on the inside of the house. It was so close to burning our house down. At dinner time, with them sitting at the table, not knowing it was going on, he said you climbed into the attic just to make sure nothing else was on fire. So I want to tell you, there's a lot of people out here who love you and respect the fire department. But I want to just say that one of the problems all of us have is that what's happened with the police department, the money that was given to the police department, we've got zero confidence in our politicians in Harahan now, because everything is getting so mismanaged. And personally, I have to say that you,
Let me cut you off real quick. I'm gonna ask that if you want a police department town hall, you go talk to Chief Walker before you leave and request a police department town hall. Let's please keep this fire department relevant.
I am talking about having zero confidence in our politicians in Harahan to manage money. Okay, you all didn't even get along for years. You quit going to the meetings because you and Tim Bodier had such a parting of ways. Well, why didn't you go to meetings for like 2.5 years?
Because I wasn't required to go to meetings. It wasn't until recently that I was actually required to go to meetings. I was required to go to budget hearings and present a budget, but if there was nothing on the agenda for the fire department, there was no need
You know
for me
what?
to
It's
be
not required for Ms. Magine to go to them, but she's at every one of those meetings.
Very good, and I have young
Because she
children as
loves
well.
Harahan.
And I made many meetings that I wasn't required to be at.
We
And I go
want,
to them now, almost every one of them, unless I have a family function or if I'm sick.
okay, one more question. You've been in office since the year 2000. I didn't even know all this. And if it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't have the facts. And I guarantee you, most of the people out there don't have Facebook, so we don't need a lecture on Facebook. But I will tell you, you've been in office since 2000. How can anything decay that bad in that amount of years because of lack of money? We have an electrician here. We have multiple contractors here. That building should be tip-top shape because there are people ready and willing to help out if we just ask.
Ms. Davis. Ms. Davis, the fact is that myself and these men have put a ton of time and money into that building, but we're not miracle workers.
No.
That building is a warehouse building with a structure on the inside of it It was never built to be a long-term fire station. Of course, that's what they wanted it to be.
Was it a warehouse building? Because I was told that the
Would you like to come
volunteers-
visit the building?
No, I was told the volunteers built a fire station.
Absolutely, the volunteers did
Well,
build
let's
that
not
building.
mislead people.
I'm not being mean to anyone.
No, mislead.
Oh, I'm not misleading anyone. What I'm telling you is that building, the way that it's constructed, they meant to house people in it, but it wasn't properly built to house people in it. The way that it's not insulated, the way that the heat gets in there's no way that we can stop the mold.
Okay.
Black hole,
I just
exactly.
wanted to lastly let you know, if I have to go over there and mop your floors, I will. You just let us know what you need, but you can't.
I admire the men who built that. I love this gentleman right here, Jimmy Brother, who was the chief for 35 years in the city of Harahan, who did one heck of a job. I love that man. He put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that building. And I'm not knocking what he did. What I'm saying is, I can't even, my eyes are so bad, Steve Hawks.
One
Paul
more
Cleveland.
question.
Paul Cleveland
Oh, I'm
put
sorry.
a lot of hard work into that building. The problem is that building was built in 1980, and it's got a lot of problems. And we've done a lot to keep that building going, but we're not miracle workers.
It didn't fall apart overnight.
No, it didn't fall apart overnight.
And I don't
It's-
know why we're just getting to this. I just have one more question. Do
What?
any of your firefighters drive a dark blue Ford truck with a fire license plate on the back of it?
No.
It's a older truck.
No.
Okay. Okay, but thank you all for your service. We will do whatever we can. We just can't do the $40 a month. I will. I promise. What's your name?
All right, sir.
My name is Debbie Worshbell, and I live on West Shannon Lane. I know you're mad about Facebook. Without Facebook, I wouldn't have known about this. And my neighbors that weren't on the computers, I went door to door to let my 70 and 80-year-old neighbors who no way could afford $40 a month, even though, as Mr. Asbell said, they couldn't afford 30 or 10 either on the news last night. They knew nothing about this. You were just going to put it on their bill and it'd be it.
Ms. Worshipful, I'm not knocking Facebook. I think it's a wonderful way to communicate with people.
Okay.
The problem is
I'm
it's
saying it
exactly what
this
I
is
do.
why this room is packed. No one knew about it, which maybe would have been better for you guys. What? But what I'm saying is, this didn't happen just now. Why are we not questioning the past consuls as to why you weren't, when a problem is little, when I'm taking care of my house, and a problem is little, it's a lot cheaper than for me to wait 12, 15 years to fix that problem. And then it cost me thousands and thousands of dollars when I could have fixed it for 200. I'm in real estate, so I understand this. You don't let things keep growing and growing and growing. And then you expect us to pay $3 million a year to fix it. You can't expect that of the residents. It's not our fault. You should have been on their butt.
And I have
The
been.
mayor was on the
I
council.
have been. There's
He
not-
should have been giving you
there's
money
not
all
a
this
mayor or
time.
a council in the last 20 years that can say that they haven't heard me say the same things that I've said tonight, over and over again.
Well, then who we have to look at is the people that were on the council 10, 15 years ago when this all needed taken care of. Because that building could have been done very cheaply. As each problem arises, you take care of it, just like we all do in our homes. You don't wait until the house is falling down to say, oh, I better fix something. That's ridiculous. And you're asking for a $35,000 raise? No one gets that.
Ms. Worshipful, I'm not asking for a $35,000. Well, I
And
guess-
don't
I guess
compare us to Kenner. We're 2.5 miles.
It is a proposed,
It doesn't matter.
hey,
Compared to 15 miles, it does matter.
okay. Thank you.
Harahan is too little to handle a $3.3 million fire department every year. Ride the streets and tell me what neighborhoods can afford that.
There are comparisons all over this state that have departments the same size with less median income in their community that have 3.6 million,
Look,
3.8
I live
million
on,
dollar fire department.
West Shannon is the old neighborhoods.
I don't create the numbers and what it costs for manpower. I just present them.
But let me tell you what you're looking at. I live on West Shannon. Yes, my home is redone. But most of the homes on that street are not. When the house next door to me sold, it sold for lot value. This is not Old Metairie. Lot value here is 50 to 60,000. It's not the median house is 272,000 because somebody found that on Zillow. That's a joke. Okay, I'm gonna let you know you don't use things found on Zillow. They are so out of whack, and you can look that up online. Most of these old homes, unfortunately, you're not gonna get people that wanna come in and remodel. They're gonna go for lot value. Lot value here is 50 to 60,000. We're not a rich area. You may have better homes going in on Colonial Club, and you may have some in Imperial Woods. But the majority of Harahan ride the streets. I did yesterday. I did my own survey yesterday. You don't have a lot of rich homes that can afford a $3.3 million a year fire department. You just don't have it. I do appreciate your service, but we can't afford it, guys. It's just like if you were in corporate America. If we can't afford you, we can't afford you. It's just that simple.
Thank you.
My name's Tommy Walker. Live at 609 Oak Avenue. I am a former volunteer firefighter with 3rd District. I respect 100% what y'all do. Y'all responded to my apartment building, I think last year. There was a fire in apartment A in a 4-plex. It was the scariest thing I ever had to face, and I've been in burning buildings before. But to know that y'all responded and contained it into the kitchen of that one apartment made me feel better living in another apartment. With that being said, sneaking a tax in the back door, calling it a fee on a water bill is not right. It needs to be put on a ballot. It needs to be put on a ballot and brought to the citizens. The second thing is $40 a month at $80 a water bill doubles most water bills. There's a lot of people in the city of Harahan that are on fixed budget. That is going to break them. If you don't believe me, go to the food pantry on Thursday and look at the 170 families that rely on that to get food for their households for the week. Cut it down to $20 a month, $40 a water bill, put it to a vote for the people, and you'd get more support than sneaking it in the back door as a fee.
Thank you. I don't take issue and not understand that people are gonna have a hard time affording whatever it is that we put to the vote or to the council. What I do have an issue with is saying that this is a sneak move or.
Hey guys, hey, listen up. Can we please limit the yelling? We have a lot to talk about tonight. It's going to extend it on for many, many minutes. So let this gentleman finish and we can move on.
Thank you. This goes on the agenda just like every other resolution. It's been talked about at the meeting, just like, in fact. It's been on the agenda. We have a town hall tonight. At the first meeting, we did something very extraordinary and we introduced it by more than just first reading. We told you about it tonight. It was advertised. So to say it's sneaky, I don't agree. Thank you.
We can disagree on what you want to call it, if it's sneaky or not. It's underhanded to sneak it in where we don't have a say-so in it. Because if it was a tax, we would be able to vote on it. And by us not being able to vote on it, it's sneaky, low down, and underhanded. Just like they did with the president and the health care bill.
And now we have the opportunity to hope to see it pulled.
How's it going? I'm new. Just moved here in October. My name is John Voce. I live on Stoneleigh. What I'd like to do is does anybody look at the numbers of, you mentioned Todd, I love you, man. You know, and these guys, y'all have more heart than I can ever dream of. And I really appreciate it. And Todd, you mentioned something. Does anybody know what the median income of Harahan is? Family of 4. Does anybody have any idea? Jason, do you?
65,000.
That's about right, yeah. So hold on. For a family, yes ma'am. Hold on, I'm gonna run the numbers here. And why I think $450 a year is very high. The median income is $67,400 for a family of 4 in the city of Harahan. Hold on. This is a family of 4. The family of 4, the average family has 2.36 kids here. Now, anybody hear the word overburdened before? Does anybody know what the percentage of overburdened renters and homeowners are in the city of Harahan? You're right. It could be as high as 50%. 50%. Now, 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's a fact. $450 a year is $480 a year is a huge number. And all of this really should have been taken into consideration before. I mean, look how many faces are here to dispute what's going to happen here. I mean, this is going to be a huge fallout. And I'm just going to run through the numbers here and to show you how much money you have to make in the city of Harahan to live a comfortable life. 12% federal tax. That's about $8,000. 4% state tax, $2,700. Rent, $976 is around the norm, right? Plus or minus $48. Hold on. So let's round it up to around $1,000. So that's $12,000 a year. Water, $420. Electric, around $1,500. Gas, $420. $360 a week, which is very low for spending and groceries. That's $19,000 a year. Car insurance, $2,400. Recreation and sports, $200 to $300 a year. Clothing on a shoestring budget, $1,200 a year. 401k contributions, right? We know about that. 7.5% is what I put in here. That's $5,000. Car repair and maintenance, $500. Gas, about $1,800 a year. Renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, between $600 and $1,000, which is very low. I know. Hold on. I'm on your side. Life insurance, $20 a month for both parents. It's $480. Health insurance, I know I'm gonna get crucified for this, around $6,000 a year. When you total that up, that's not counting cell phone and cable, car registrations, gym, car debt, student debt, daycare, tuition, summer camp and vacations. That's not counting that. It's $65,535 when the median income in the city of Harahan is $67,400. Now, that's low, that is shoestring budget, guys. There has got to be an easier way. Have we looked into federal funds? Have we looked into grants, state grants,
Yes.
parish grants?
Yes, we have applied for federal grants, and generally we get turned down because of the amount of, from what the grant writers tell me. From what the grant writers say, we generally get turned down because of the budget that we have for the fire department versus the median income of the city, that they want the community to invest more into the fire department. They have bigger departments with less of a need than us that get the same grants that we apply for and get turned down. And yes, we applied for the GAP grants. Matter of fact, hopefully we've got one granted to us coming in this year that will help us. But yes, we do apply for grants, and we have applied for grants. We have not been very successful in getting them.
Since I'm a personal finance guy, I've taught 3 classes at St. Rita. I volunteer my time to help people out financially because I see life is not cheap. For $450 in a year, hear the numbers, guys, and this is all shoestring budget stuff. If you're not making north of $65,000 of a family of 4, you're not making it in the city of Harahan, and $450 is gonna put a huge hole in our pockets. I support you guys 100%, man. But there's just gotta be a better way to do it, an easier way to do it, and one that won't turn the backs on you guys. I appreciate your time. I just wanted to speak for the guys who make lower than $67.
Thank you, John.
Hi, my name's Patty Lobel. I live on Sheringham Drive, and I have the utmost respect for all of y'all. You do a hell of a job. I hope I never need your services, but and honestly, I wish we could give out all of y'all the state-of-the-art equipment, everything you need, because if you have what you need to do your job, you can better take care of us. The problem that I think most of us have, myself included, I called you Mr. Asbill earlier this week, but I don't, believe you called me back. The problem I have with this is the way that you're going about this. You want to put a $40 a month fee on our water bills that we have no say over. This is akin to Obamacare being shoved down our throats. Yeah. And we had no say over our fees that we would have to pay, and we had no say. Why don't you want to put this before the people and let them vote? Because I guarantee you, if you put this before the people and you don't try to shove this down our throats, you're going to get a hell of a lot more support if you do not try to force this on us. But if you try to force this on us, you can kiss your little political career goodbye. I understand that you're an attorney, so you can well afford $40 a month. Yeah. But there are people in this city, my parents included, who, by the way, raised me here. I played ball in this gym, played ball in those ball fields for many years, raised my kids here, went to Faith Lutheran School, so we have deep roots here. If you try to force this on us, you're going to see a revolt like you've never seen before. And the problem is, you say you don't know of anybody that can't easily afford $40 a month. Do you want me to? Yes, you said something very similar to that. Where you said you did not think it would be a problem for most people. I know a lot of people who it would be a problem for. Elderly people who are living on fixed incomes, people who have young children in school or high school. When my kids were in school, you know what I paid tuition? Over $2,200 a month to send 3 kids. Now that's not your problem, but I'm just saying that people have lots of expenses, and not everybody can easily afford $40 a month. It is a drop in the bucket to an attorney, to an older couple, or to a young couple that's just starting out, or to somebody that has lots of medical bills. $40 may as well be $400. And don't look at me like that, please. I know you're like, but I mean, if this were put for a vote for the people, you guys would have all the support in the world. You would, yes, you would. I guarantee you, you would. I would be out there rallying on your behalf because you deserve it. You do a awesome job. We want you to have what you need to keep us safe. It's in our best interest for y'all to have what you need. It's in our best interest for you all to arrive at my house fire with 15 men and not just 4. But the way Mr. Asbill has, okay, that's even worse. I don't want that. That's not safe for y'all. It's not in our best interest. But the way Mr. Asbill has gone about this was very underhanded, very sneaky, trying to force it on us, and it is not right. Because I can tell you what, and I'm speaking for my parents again, because I can afford $40 a month. But speaking for my parents and other homeowners and people with sick kids and tuition, $40 a month is a lot of money. Where do you expect these people to get this money from, and what do you have against putting it on the ballot and letting us vote for it? Why can't we vote for this? Yes, you're up. Go right ahead.
It is not, and I've said this from the get-go, this has not been about not wanting to put it before the
Then
city.
why don't we put it on the
This is-
ballot?
And that's what we're going to do, and that's what we would have done had the water bill fee passed. However, this fire department is bleeding daily.
I understand it has been bleeding for how many years has it been
I
bleeding?
was not interrupting you, please let me finish. To stop the bleeding, we have to do something now. This was an immediate fix to try to stop the bleeding.
And
And we understand,
if the fee were put on our bills, it would never come off. And you know that as well as I do. And I can tell you that any council person that votes for this has seen the end of their political career. And as have you, just for bringing this up. So I would have appreciated a call back earlier this week so we could discuss it. And guys, like I said, I want you all to have everything you need and then some. But the way they're going about this, it's not gonna fly. It's gonna blow up in your face. Thank you.
I'm Ralph Herman. I live at 8123 Huntley Lane. 8123 Huntley Lane. I live on the last street in the city of Harahan. You go one street over, their fire department don't have these problems. They're well funded. Every year, I get 2 tax bills. One for Jefferson Parish and one for the city of Harahan. And I've been told if you add them up, it would be the same amount of money. It's about 16% of my tax payment goes to the city of Harahan. So why don't our firemen get treated like firemen in Jefferson Parish? They're well paid, well funded, well equipped. I pay the same tax as if those guys work for Jefferson Parish. And we all live in Jefferson Parish, so maybe we need to unincorporate our fire department. Give it to Jefferson Parish so these guys can get treated right. Because a captain in Jefferson Parish makes about $90,000 a year, and they're working. Well, it's been a little while since I knew. But, I mean, they're treated right, and they should be. I'm paying enough money that they could be treated right. So, I mean, can we unincorporate our fire department? The chief would get a raise, everybody would be better off. But they're not gonna not take y'all, because y'all all certified. Well, that's when Paul Johnson goes to work for us and makes sure y'all are. That's why we have a representative.
If we had no fire department today, if we were to shut down the fire department today and have Jefferson Parish take over our fire department, they would be happy to come in and provide fire protection for Harahan, provided that the citizens of Harahan would do what they did for the unincorporated East Bank and pay 25 mils dedicated for fire department. They're not going to come in and do it for free.
Well,
They can't.
we're paying
Actually,
the
it's not
same
that they
tax.
wouldn't want to. It's not that they wouldn't want to. It's that they can't legally. They can't provide fire protection to Harahan without collecting the same amount from the residents of Harahan that they do in their area. They would have to collect. It's what happened in 3rd District area.
Well, how would 25 bills hurt us? How much difference would it make? But that would be, the difference would
20
be.
20
if we
mills
only
in Harahan for the fire
have a
department?
city council and we wouldn't
20
have a
million,
police
20
department.
mills in Harahan for the fire department would generate about 1.8 million. We could, I'm telling you right now, if I had another $1.8 million in our budget. Okay, here's the thing, and I said this when I started the meeting was, what I was asked to provide were the numbers that made us whole and made us as close to meeting NFPA standards as we could possibly get without going absolutely insane, because actually to meet NFPA standards, it wouldn't be $40 a month, it'd be more like $60 a month. And I get that, and I get $40 a month. I'm not trying to take from you, ma'am. I think a millage is a great idea. If we can do 20 mills and get $1.8 million in our fire department, I promise you, these guys would be so much happier, and we would do so much better.
I can't understand why Jefferson Parish would not take it.
Correct. It would be too, right, what I'm saying is that the millage would bring in 1.8 million additional revenue is what it is. It would be about a 2.8 million, and that's what it would take.
Well, I mean, this is basically what I feel.
For the safety of
This
my
was
men,
out of
that's what
line.
it would take.
I don't know where $40 came from. It's out of line. And I'm agree with most of these people. It's not fair. And everybody wants to see these guys treated right, and I think it could. And unincorporation is something that needs to be considered. And if it costs us a few more mills on our property tax, at least we could write that off. It wouldn't be just gone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is, can you hear me? Yeah. My name is John Bono. I've been living in Harahan for about 38 years. I've been practicing law for about 40. And I've been a real estate broker. I'll hold it up. My name is John Bono. I've been a practicing attorney and lived in Harahan for, last 36 years. I've been a real estate broker for 42 years. 12 or 13 of my family members, all the Bonos, moved to Harahan about 40 years ago from, you name it, Colonial Club, all the way across to Winn-Dixie. I coached the Biddy basketball all-star team here in this gym here. Raised my 3 boys here. Still live on Clifton Drive, 7207 Clifton in Harahan. Guys, what can we say? We need the fire department. We need a good fire department. We're all with that. I'm going to start off with something that I thought was really unique. 4 months ago, I talked to a good friend of mine who was living in unincorporated Jefferson Parish and moving in Harahan on a house on McHugh Street in Harahan, and his wife had just retired. He called me 2 days ago incensed, and he said to me, you know, you told me that we'd have to pay Jefferson Parish property taxes and Harahan taxes if we moved to Harahan, and you told me it was worth it. Well, he was basically beside himself when he found out that this council could potentially put together a service fee to put on the citizens of Harahan that he had no anticipation and had never seen this happen before, and he's been practicing law for 40 years, incensed. And I said, look, I have to tell you, I called him back and said, I only knew about it in the paper yesterday and Wednesday about this article that was written. And I said, as far as the service fee goes, there was a comment here that Councilman Asbill made. Well, you know, and I'm trying to quote it here when he said that something to the effect, well, he will propose rolling back the fees to cover the amount of the millage revenue approved by the voters. I don't think Councilman Asbill has the authority to do that and roll it back if a millage is done. Next point, which came up, was that $480. I'm not an accountant, but depending upon your tax bracket, that's about $680 a year grossed at $480. That's not $480. That's $680 a year. You have to gross money to net what they're asking for the increase. It's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. There. You know, it's just disheartening that triple. I've been practicing law for 40 years. I've never seen somebody come ask for triple. I mean, just in fairness to the firemen, I'm used to negotiating. I've handled about 6,000 cases practicing law. When somebody comes to you and says they want to negotiate and they want something that's this high, well, a lot of times people just walk away. And if this thing, this proposed situation, I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but if it even goes to a village and a vote, I think that the people of Harahan really need to understand what is it really going to take for this, albeit not triple, and whether or not there's an alternative. I was hoping and praying for the past couple of years that when everything got voted on at Colonial, that we would begin to have additional property taxes come into Harahan in the future. By having 50 to 60 houses, it might be worth $800,000 in there, plus the commercial taxation that will come from the commercial pieces up front. Yes, we need it soon, and yes, that's not here yet, but if you ride by there, it's moving, And so, in any event, I'm hoping this thing can be worked out, but clearly not in the method that it's going in. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm going to introduce myself in a minute, but I do want to say that to you firemen, I mean, you guys put your life on the line every day, and I think that you 100% deserve a raise from the citizens of Harahan, and we have to figure out a way to get that to you all. So my name is Christine Wilson. I've been a Harahan resident for about 15 years, but my mother-in-law, she lives here, she's been living here for a long time too, so I do want to address the elderly situation. We do have, maybe 20% of our population is elderly, and this is going to hit them very hard. Every year she complains when she goes into the donut hole and she can't afford her medications, so she does knock one of her COPD medications off when she's in the donut hole. What else are we gonna ask her to not take so you guys can get your $40 a month? My biggest issue is that the budget that's been presented, it is $3.2 million. Our Harahan budget is $6.1 million. Do you know of any other cities that the one department gets 50% of the entire budget for? No? Because that's something that I think that we should look at ratio-wise. I mean, if there was something in my budget that was costing me 50% of my income, I would be looking either for more income or for something else. So, as presented, I think that we have to find ways for it to be lowered. I don't know where that comes from, but part of why so many people are angry is because, this was put in front of a council where we don't have representation by the individual citizens and our chance to do this. So that's put out there without any explanation. And so we didn't really get a proposed budget until yesterday, I believe. So, information goes a long way. And I think that a lot of people are just upset that they haven't been given information. And then also, not just a budget. Show us where you came up with those numbers. How does it compare to other cities? Like, these are the things that we should be looking at. And I don't know, I didn't prepare anything. I didn't mean to come up here and talk, but I had to get to 50%. That's just too much. And millages. So, no, we don't pay Jefferson Parish's fire millages, okay? Yes, we do pay Jefferson Parish taxes and Harahan taxes, but we pay much less millage to Jefferson Parish than people of unincorporated Jefferson Parish do. So, our bills added together now do equal about what they pay in Jefferson Parish. And then as far as, in millages, so in 2015 we did pass, we extended the 5 mil to you all. So in 2015, did we have any of these shortfalls already? Was this already building? Could we not have asked for more in 2015? And maybe we would have passed it then before it got so bad. Also, since 2015, go ahead.
I've asked for years and years to increase that millage, and it just has not been done.
So how is it that you get a millage to go in front of a vote?
The council would have to pass that ordinance. The council will have to pass that ordinance.
And you would have to submit something to them So,
Correct.
you know, what?
Now, I can tell you the one thing I didn't want them to do was to just increase that 5 mills and put a higher mill. In case it would have failed, then we'd have lost that too.
I
It was
understand
very
that.
important
I
to
understand that.
renew that 5 mills, but we have needed to put an additional millage on the ballot, which is why in some communities, in some fire protection districts, you'll see that they actually have 3 or 4 different millages for that same fire department.
So, yes, I mean, so that is something that, apologies for our council for not doing that for you guys, but, and for you. Yeah, so, I think there was something else I wanted to say, but now I can't remember. So I'll go ahead and cede the floor.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm Michelle Beaupre. I live on Wainwright. Todd, you've been to my house several times with my mother when she was sick. We moved in with my father because he is elderly and he can't afford the $40. He can't afford the $40 a month. If it wouldn't be for me helping in, he wouldn't be able to do it. And now he's even more disabled, so he can't work. He's 76 years old. So you're to the point, and I'm in the medical field, I see it every day. They come into their gaps. They don't have money for their prescriptions, so they just don't take them. That's not an answer.
I'm not okay with that either, by the way.
No, and I know you're not, because
Please,
I'm
thank
telling
you.
every one of y'all are
Right.
hard workers, and I'm not, that's not, but this is the whole issue, is that everybody has to think of everyone. It's not just the elderly, even the young. There's some young people that are on medicine that they can't afford. I have 2 prescriptions I get for my son that are over $600 a month, just 2, and I get no help. And I'm below the, whatever you want to call it, I make $30,000 a year. But you know what? He needs it. I have to get it. And that's with health insurance. So once they meet that gap of $5,800, which some people hit very quickly, as my mother did when she was in chemo, you get no help. There's no one that says, here's your medicine. Hopefully, the elderly will call their doctor and say, do you have some samples? And they have them. Because not, they go without. So it needs to go to a vote for the citizens. I've been here almost 20 years now in Harahan, and it just needs to go up by vote. It's not something that should just be forced on us.
Very good. Thank you so much.
My name is Charmaine Devaney. I live on Sonniat, and I've lived in Harahan for 53 years. And I'm 76 years old, and I live on a very limited income, and I want y'all to know why we don't like this. We already sitting in our houses sweating because we can't afford to put our air conditioners lower. We buy the cheapest food we can at the grocery store. After I pay my bills, I sometimes have less than $100 to last me another 4 or 4.5 weeks until my next money comes in. Where is this gonna come from? I mean, I really sympathize, but we just don't, some of us just don't have it. We can't do it. And I don't know, y'all probably don't know what it, some of y'all don't know what it feels like to live on such a limited income, especially a senior by themselves. If they have a husband, maybe it's a little better, but we just don't have it. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carolyn Clausing. I live at 50 OK Avenue. And first, I would like to offer my services to you to help you write your next grant. I've had considerable experience writing grants. Second, I didn't know anything about this until I got an email from one of my neighbors the day before yesterday. And this is a hard sell. I probably could afford to pay it, but you have not shown me anything but a 3-minute film showing me what, why, where. I need to see some facts, some figures. I need to understand fully why you need the money. You need an advertising campaign. okay? That's all I'm
agree.
saying.
I agree with
And
you.
I'd be happy to help you with the grant.
I agree with you. Thank you. Ma'am, Miss Carol, can you come see me before you leave? Thank you.
Eric Chatelain, 700 Colonial Club Drive. Most of y'all know me here. Every one of these firemen know me here. Guess what? These guys can't afford $40 a month either. They can't afford $40 a month. I can't afford $40 a month. I'm here to speak for the people of Harahan and let them know $40 a month is a little high. I think we can all agree, this fire department needs help. We all agree on that. We're gonna sit here and accuse Mr. Asbill of trying to sneak something in the back door. Mr. Asbill put an ordinance up. It was read for first reading. That brought to everyone here's attention. That's not sneaking something in the back door. Everybody here is talking about it now. So do y'all think that's sneaking it? I don't think that's sneaking it. If he would have never brought this up, if he would have never brought this ordinance up, would we be talking about this today? Would we realize the crisis that this fire department's in? I'm agreeing with you, ma'am. So quit sitting there thinking all of the council think this is a go and we're a shoe, we voting on this next month. A lot of these people agreeing with it. And guess what? Mr. Asbill opened this meeting stating, I've listened to the people. I'm gonna pull this ordinance. Not one person thanked him. I don't think y'all were listening. Y'all just sit here and think. Y'all are sitting here thinking that we're all for this. We know people can't afford this. The lady lives behind me lives off of $600 a month. $600 a month. Do you think I'm looking to put this bill on her? No, I'm not. We're looking for your help to give us ideas and ways to find this. You know, I watched a video. Have you called me to have a conversation?
Yeah, you lied to me in my front yard.
Oh, I did, okay.
And that's what we all see all the time. You lie to all of us.
You don't know me? You don't know me? And don't challenge me. I don't think I'm being rude. I'm explaining to y'all that we're not all for this. I'm talking loud so y'all can hear. Y'all keep saying we can't hear. Guys, I'm up here to let you know I realize the majority of Harahan cannot afford $40 a month. I'm here to be a voice of y'all. And I'm not going to approve $40 a month. I think Mr. Asbill stated when he started that he's going to pull an ordinance. So he listened to the people. So he listened to the people. I'm not going to go that far, you know, but I'm listening to the people. I'm listening to the people. I know the citizens cannot afford $40 a month. I know these guys need a raise. I know they need to be taken care of. They can't afford their life, you know. I understand, and I believe these people we need to find a way to raise money for these, and I think we all agree on that. I believe we need to help them in a positive way every month or on a tax village or something to put through to help these guys. So I look forward to working with the citizens of Harahan to help me find a way to raise money for these guys. You know, I know there's a few people here who can't stand me, and I'm fine with that. But if y'all have an idea how we can raise money, I look forward for y'all to come out and help us raise money for these guys. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is David McKenna. I've lived in Harahan 45 years with my wife. She's been here for 61 years. I have a lot of old people in my neighborhood, some are dying off, and I know they can't afford it because I've been working on their houses, fixing their fences and junk. But the fact that our fire station is built in 1980 is depressing. My house was built in 1950. So I keep my house up. What happened to the fire station? I mean, if it needs work, maybe somebody needs to fix it. Not wait till it's got to be replaced. Now, the whole thing comes out to this. If we say, hey, no problem, $40 a month, everybody chips in, we can all put it up there, and they get this 3-time budget, how is this going to affect us? Well, I want to know, I haven't heard a single thing about it. The first time I heard about this was yesterday in the paper. I don't Facebook. I got a computer phone here. My daughter bought it, I could care less about it. So all I know is in the paper it says, you need a raise, we need some more equipment, maybe we do. I don't know. But I do know, I gotta read it in the paper and then I have a meeting on it. So if we say, here's the money, you get all this, you give everybody a raise, maybe y'all deserve it, I hope y'all do, and I hope y'all get it. But if y'all get it, how is this gonna affect us? Bottom line, does it lower our fire rating and we're gonna reduce our homeowners insurance? Nothing?
We're a class 3 rating now. The best that we could probably ever look for would be a class 2.
I can't hear everybody talking.
We're a class 3 rating now. The best we would probably ever go to would be a class 2. One would be very difficult to achieve, and we'd have to spend more than the $40 per month in order to get there. However, that class 2 would not return much to you, if any.
So we're going to spend a lot more money.
If we did go to a 2, by law, it would have to return something to you. Now, when we go back to a 3, or if we go to a 4, they do not have to increase your insurance.
So back to the build. When did the building get obsolete? You said the building's built in 1980. I mean, maybe it's not perfect, but my house wasn't either. Can we fix the building?
I would imagine so, but I'm not an expert in that. And we're going to
Maybe
need
we
an
need to get
expert.
one. And how about all this new stuff being built over Jefferson Highway? That all new senior citizens, gonna have about 600 rooms or something. Is that gonna give y'all more money?
I would hope so.
You don't know? Hell, I'd ask that question before you came to the meeting. Go to City Hall and ask them, what are they gonna pay for it? If they're gonna build all these rooms, these people are gonna spend $5,000-6,000 a month to have a place over there. I would sure hope that somebody is gonna give some of that money to Jeff Harahan for the fire department, the police department, because they're gonna need fire protection more than we do. That's about gonna be, I'm sure, 2 or 3, 4-story building. I mean, most of the houses around me have maybe a 2nd story on it. I don't have any 3-story buildings. So I just hope that we get that fire building done. I hope that you say other departments of similar cities have budgets a lot bigger than ours. Do these other departments in these other cities, do they just rely on residents? Do y'all have any big business here in the area? No.
And that is our problem. We do not have
No,
a
we have
commercial corridor.
all the money comes out of our pockets. Just old people living around here, chipping up their money to go ahead and live here. Now, some of these places, like I worked in Norco for 35 years. They had a big old refinery. They just say, y'all need $10,000, $100,000 for this? Here it is. They actually bought a fire truck for Norco. I mean, I can't imagine who's gonna buy you one.
I couldn't either, but I'd like for them to.
I do know they go about $700,000, am I right?
About $550, just depends on how the bid comes
So,
back.
I mean, I'm not familiar. I fought a lot of fires over there for the fun of it. They made you do it. And like I said, I just hope you need to check and see all they do is dish over crossing. Is that going to help us or for finances? I mean, they should have somebody should know. It's already being built. Right now, if there's a fire on that property, y'all have to respond to it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all should know what's going on over there as much as anybody. Ain't nothing I hate worse than going to a fire and I don't know what they got out there. They could have nitroglycerin or wood sticking around there.
Before it opens, we'll know everything about it.
You know about it? Find out how much money they can help you out with. They say, I thought we'd get a fire rating help out of this. And sorry you can't hear me, I'm using too damn loud. But now I'll beat it into the mic. Well, fellas, thank y'all.
Hi, my name's Mitch Arbaugh. I live at 79 OK Avenue. Every single person has got up here and complained about this. However, no one has offered a solution except Ms. Carroll. What? I'm sorry, ma'am? Okay, no problem. They have offered a solution. Ma'am, can I speak, or would you like to talk over me? Ma'am, you have no clue what I will be saying. Why don't you sit down and listen to what I have to say? All you want to do is complain. Let me finish my statement, because I may be in favor of you. You have no idea. You have no clue. Okay, everyone has offered up complaints, but no one has offered a solution. Some of you have offered, I'm not paying $40. I'm not paying $5. I'm not paying $10. What does a starting firefighter make in Harahan?
27
Is that with state pay, overtime, holiday pay, everything?
plus state pay.
That is absolutely pathetic. Those men can go work for minimum wage and make more if they work overtime. Those men can go work at Walmart and make more. But I'm sorry? We do all have to change jobs, but who's going to do this job for $27,000 a year? Jefferson Parish pays 24.01 mils. Do you want to pay that? You don't want to pay $40 a month, which is less than 24.01 mils. Okay, not on your house. You may be the exception to the rule.
No, majority.
You're the majority. Did you get that from Facebook? Is that stats? Is that from Facebook? I understand. Look, I have a young family as well. I have a 5-month-old at my house. I'm sorry? I'm absolutely being nice, but you're not going to attack me. We need to do something for our firemen. We need to do something for our equipment. Our newest engine is how many years old, man? 23 is the newest one. 2000 is our newest engine, 18 years old. And FPA recommends them only being in service for 10 years. Any size department, and FPA standards go for any department when it comes to that. My solution is, why don't we talk about a millage? Nobody wants to vote for new taxes, and I understand that. However, we need to do something. So what are we going to do? Do we want 5 mils, 10, 15, 20? Let's come up with a solution tonight instead of just complain. I'm sorry? You're right, we can't speak for anybody in Harahan. I understand, but everyone has complained. There's only been a few people who have come up with solutions. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, and these men live on a budget as well. These men have been starving for years. We need to provide for them. And I understand everybody, has fixed incomes. I have a fixed income as well, but we also need to provide for our firemen and for our public servants, police, fire, EMS, all of them.
This is a scary crowd. Elizabeth Gill, I live on Red Pass. I have only lived in Harahan maybe a year and a half. I really respect you guys. We need you guys. We really do. I really think that a millage is what we need, an additional millage, because a $40 flat fee is not, it's not fair. Because someone with a less than $200,000 value property is trying to budget within their means, and someone with a $500,000 home with a, $300 water bill, maybe $90 added to their water bill is painful, but not the same as somebody who's got maybe like me with a $40 every 2-month water bill, having that added to theirs, that triples my water bill. It triples my water bill. And perhaps I can find the funds, but my first thought when I heard about this was, wow, what about my neighbors? I live in a neighborhood with people on Social Security, retired people, pensioners. There's somebody in a HUD house or in Section 8 right down the street from me, renters that perhaps have to set up their own water services, and they have to pay that, not the homeowner. And I don't think that's fair to them. If the homeowner paid it and wanted to pass that on to them in their rent, that's one thing. But to make the renter pay for it is a completely different issue altogether. And I don't think that that's fair either. So to set it up as a millage makes way more sense to me, because then proportionately, that makes more sense. I believe that that's a fairer way to approach it. Then it matches the property value. Then my understanding is that it affects our property insurance as well. It possibly affects our property insurance. No, the fire thing doesn't affect our property insurance. No, that's not a thing. No, the fire rating doesn't affect our property insurance. No, not really. Okay, I take that back. But I think that makes more sense. That's a fairer way to approach it. I'm all for keeping the 5 mil. If we can add a second millage, I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know enough about it.
It
but
is.
if we can add another one so we don't lose the one that we have if what we propose doesn't pass. And I think it would be important to advertise what Jefferson Parish already has, so that people aren't going, we should unincorporate, because that's all over Facebook, and I don't think that that's an option. I don't, because people are saying that, not understanding what Jefferson Parish actually pays. I think that that's rampant on Facebook, and they don't understand what Jefferson Parish actually pays. Jefferson Parish is paying 24 point whatever it is, and people don't understand what they pay. I look at Facebook, I know that it's not all true. And I think that actually it would be really good if somebody on the council would watch Facebook and perhaps intervene and put some actual facts on there. That would be really helpful. And I know the council probably doesn't have time for that, but it would really be helpful if somebody would kind of do that and police it, because real facts would be really nice. Because I know that there's a lot of emotion and there's not a lot of facts. But if we could get the real facts out there for people so that they know unincorporating would cost us more, if we could add additional 10 to 15 mills so that it would bring us up, people could plan for it, budget for it, instead of all of a sudden, oh my God, the $40 thing, I haven't budgeted for this. I've talked to some of my neighbors, they had no clue that this was happening. They're not reading the paper, they're not looking at Facebook, they had no clue, they don't come to meetings. I don't know why they're not involved. They're not. They have lives. I don't know. But they're not. And so that's my thought.
I am Diane Bueller, 8341 Huntley Lane. Diane Bueller, 8341 Huntley Lane. I had the opportunity to tour the firehouse thanks to Kevin Durr. It was very eye-opening. They have broken plumbing. They have a leaky roof. I'm so sorry that y'all have to sleep in a room with water falling on you when it rains. Poor Kevin has to sleep downstairs in a room that doesn't have any heat in the wintertime, and he freezes to death. It's really bad over there. They got a door that doesn't lift, but don't worry about that, because the fire truck that's behind that doesn't work, so we don't have to worry about getting that door up to get a fire truck out. And I am twofold. I am really torn about this. I cannot afford that $40 a month. And I brought my water bill here because it's in sewer things, but my average water bill, $250 a month. $250. My sewer is $148. The rest of it goes to everything else. I have bought the last 4 months, if anybody would like to see my water bills. Tacking another $80 on that, I am paying over $300. My water bill for before that was $300. And that's, I don't have a leak. I have a mother with Alzheimer's that leaves the water on. And so yeah, we've addressed that. We are trying to address different things. So I do have things, and I also have sloppy boys, Todd, you know them, that take 2 and 3 showers a day, and I have lots of laundry. So that being said, we need to find a solution, and we do need to pay you guys. I am so sorry y'all have such a horrible salary. No offense to any of y'all, but look at our firemen. They're getting old. We need to be able to recruit younger guys. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend y'all. I know how old some of you are. I went to high school with you, so I know exactly how old you are. We need younger guys. We got poor Hunter over here. He's the youngest here. Think about it.
Speak for yourself.
I'm old. I know how old these guys are. That being said, we have to find a solution that works for all of Harahan. I have a mother-in-law that goes to dialysis 3 days a week. $80 a month is not feasible for her. It's not feasible for me. I have a kid that's getting ready to go to college. Can't do it. I think that we need to find a solution that works for all of Harahan. I am willing to pay for it in my taxes, mainly because I get to write that off. And another thing, why can't we form some type of committee that will work with the council, the fire department, and the residents of Harahan, get people that are citizens to residents to volunteer. I'll volunteer my time to work on a committee to try to find a solution that works best for everybody.
My name is Mike Mueller. I live at 8205 Morocco Drive in Lake Harahan Oaks. The lady saying somebody was getting old kept pointing to Kevin, so I'm assuming that's what she was talking about. At any rate, all I want to say is I did come here to complain like everybody else, but since Jason Asbill has pulled his ordinance, I think there's nothing to complain about. However, I do think that our firemen do deserve better than what they've got. The city of Harahan deserves better as far as protection. And as far as somebody having come here tonight with a solution, certainly nobody could possibly have thought any citizen was coming here with a solid solution. But the lady before me said exactly what I wanted to say, is that I think we ought to get together, get a town hall to discuss a solution, then come up with a citizens committee to discuss that solution, and then put that solution before all the voters of Harahan and make it fair and equitable for everybody, so that these guys who put their lives on the line with substandard equipment in a substandard house don't have to do that anymore. Thank you.
How's it going? I'm back. So we're talking about solutions, right? I'm all up for a committee. Do we have any advertisers? Would we be willing to fund maybe an organization to lobby for us with some of these funds? I mean, are we willing to hire a consultant? Can we put together a package with a consultant, go up to DC, apply in person to these federal grants? I mean, I just pulled up in 3 minutes after Mr. Chatelaine spoke. There are grants, fire department grants for everything. There are fire department grants for housing. There are fire department grants for trucks. There are fire department grants for tools. There's $210 million that's given every year. Did we apply for that last year?
We have applied multiple times for the Fire Act money. Is that through Fire Act?
Yeah, we need to find out who got it and how they went about getting it. If we can get that information, and Todd, how much do you need to scrape by until the next grants are announced? We need to find out that number, and let's scrape it together as a community and put it together and give it to you guys. If we can scrape it together just to get by to the next grant, and then we bother Scalise, we bother our senators, We bother them to death until they fork up some money for us. But again, and these guys are included, there is a huge deficit for these gentlemen up here that save our lives, but also for the people out there too. We are overburdened by the rents, and now to toss another $40 charge on there, I think we have a better solution. I'm up for a committee. I nominate myself to be on there. And we'll put some numbers together. We'll make this happen as a community. I know we can do it.
My name is Judy Johnson. I live at 815 Oak Avenue, and I have lived there for 76 years. Excuse me, 67 years. Making myself older. Todd knows, and the fire department knows, I've volunteered my time in this city for a hell of a long time. I really don't need this microphone, but I will use it. Let's clear up a couple of things. Your budget is not $972,000. Your budget is $1,128,666. That was adopted by the council at the February meeting. I would encourage everyone in this building to come to the council meetings. You will be appalled, absolutely appalled by what you see. In the first meeting Mr. Asbill attended, he eliminated address the council. He doesn't want to hear what we have to say. The ordinance that he says he advertised and was read, the ordinance that was read concerning this reads, an ordinance imposing a monthly service charge to promote commercial and individuals, provide for commercial and individuals with standard buyer fee service. Nowhere did it say $40. I looked it up on the internet. I had to ask for it to be posted. The city has just posted January, February, March, and April minutes this week. Yeah, they're supposed to be posted every month. They are not. There are so many things that are being hidden from you. Come to the meeting and find out for yourself. And as far as this $40 charge, I have a solution. Todd, go to Westwego. Talk to the fire chief over there. If they can handle 75 volunteers, active volunteers, and they can get along with 11 paid firemen, we can do the same here in Harahan. Then I talked to the 3rd District Fire Chief today. The 3rd District mans 4 stations, 6 trucks, and an administrative building besides, with 42 paid firemen, and their budget is $3 million. We have 1 station active. We have 12 firemen, and we don't need $3 million.
Just to clear it up, I also encourage everyone out to come to the council meeting where you can address the council still and talk to the council and talk to the council for each and every measure that is on the agenda. We're here in the hearing time, I'm glad you came.
I have all of my questions for you, Jason Asbill.
Amen.
During the 4 years of Mayor Maselli's administration, I'd like to know, y'all all know where I live. I need my hands. Where do you live? I live on Hickory Avenue. Felicia Jardina is my name. Like y'all didn't know. I don't give my exact address. Y'all all know it. You know it. You know it, don't you? how about some decorum? During the 4 years of Mayor Maselli's administration, how many grants did Chief St. Cyr submit? During the 4 years of Mayor Maselli's administration, how many grants did Chief St. Cyr submit?
2.
I need to ask him. I realize you probably know the answer, but he should. So how many?
I do not know.
Why don't you know? You know, yeah, none. When Mr. St. Cyr spoke to you all about the needs, or submitted the budget for it, did he submit anything in writing to you, or did he?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Did he submit anything in writing to you
He did.
for what he needed? The building, and I'm moving around a little bit. Aren't there annual inspections of the building? Why are we just hearing that there's mold? Why are we just hearing that there's a? I'm sorry?
I'm not just hearing.
I didn't hear you.
You said, why are we just hearing there's
Yeah.
I'm not just hearing about it.
Okay, well, we hadn't heard about it before. Do you have proof of it? Do you have proof of it? Because if you don't have proof, you just need to shut up. Shut up.
Ashley. Sit down. Stop.
So, how long have you known about this? Because none of us have known. I never heard anything at the council meetings about it.
I found out about it.
I can't hear y'all both. I'm sorry.
I found out about
Sit
it.
down,
I think it
Scott.
was September when I went to board.
September of 18?
At the invitation to Mr. Hall.
September of 18?
That's right.
Ms. Maselli came to the station when she was first elected
Mm-hmm.
and toured the whole station.
Don't y'all have a credit card to Home Depot or wherever that you go get the kind of supplies that you want? Do y'all not, or what? Jason? Are they forbidden from going and buying primer or paint, or? Do they or do not they not have the ability to go to Home Depot or wherever and get supplies? They do not.
We can go to Home Depot.
How much does each fireman make after overtime, holiday pay, their supplemental pay from the state, and the longevity pay that they get?
The average take-home pay for our firemen is about $400 a week.
That's not the numbers that we have. Yeah, I would like to see your check stubs. Okay. But you don't have it with you?
About 30 plus, probably about 35.
So you're telling me with overtime, they're only bringing home $400 a week? Yep. That's what you're telling me? And with their supplemental pay, they're only bringing home $400 a week? How do you know this? You've seen it? You have? Why didn't you prepare anything like that for us to see?
We have.
Why haven't we seen it? Why didn't you present it before when you presented the ordinance? But why didn't you? I mean, we'd like to have seen your research so that we could have a little bit more faith in it. Jason, why didn't you present your research to us before? Did you not have it until tonight? No, you didn't have it until tonight?
I had to.
Okay.
Just like every board, we put it on the agenda for first reading, and then we talked about it next to that. Now, had you been at the last meeting, you would have seen that we did something extraordinary and talked about it at the first meeting. And we will talk about it again at the second meeting. However, the ordinance will be pulled by me.
So you presented your research at the council meeting? Did you present your research that you had before tonight at the council meeting?
Yes, we talked about the qualitative research of the fire department. We would get into the quantitative research when it was time.
A gentleman over there asked me to ask the council, if y'all are so concerned about the pay, why don't y'all forfeit your own pay and donate it to the firemen? like to know. I mean, it adds up, but that wasn't my question. That's what the gentleman wanted me to ask, so I did. How are Jefferson Parish's fire chiefs doing things differently? How are Jefferson Parish's fire chiefs doing things differently? So just money will fix everything. Mhm. What about the fire committee that was disbanded at the first of the year? Where are the minutes to that? Did you see them? Aren't there supposed to be minutes for a committee that's meeting?
No minutes were taken. They never had another meeting. And as of, I believe, November of 18, that committee effectively disbanded because it was not renewed by the previous council.
So most of this fee that you wanted to put in that nobody would be able to vote on, looks like it's going to be going towards salary. Nobody questions that y'all don't need more salary. Of course y'all need more salary. I'm sorry?
Most departments are about 90% salary.
But it's my understanding that they have their base pay, they have their holiday pay and their overtime pay, they have their state supplemental pay, which is like $6,000 a year, and they have a longevity amount of pay that they get individually.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? I'm just wondering why you wrote this ordinance if you didn't know some of the things that I found out. You did. Why did you turn and ask him? Why did you turn and ask him if you knew? No, I'm going to stay here as long as I want to. Thank y'all. So there are no annual inspections of the building.
Wait, you don't live here?
So are there annual inspections of the building? Why not?
Why are you up here talking if you don't even live
Why
here?
don't you shut your mouth? You know where I live?
Really? If you don't live here, you need
Why
to
don't you know if there's, why are there no yearly inspections of the building? You don't know why?
I live here. I pay taxes here.
Also, my dad's a retired fireman, and he had a second job. Most firemen do. Do these guys not have second jobs? I said most of firemen that I grew up around had second jobs because they work 24 and they're all 48. You know? So do these gentlemen not have second jobs generally, or? Because most of them do.
Please.
Yeah, when are they supposed
I
to?
believe most of them have second jobs.
And my only reason even bringing it up.
I don't think it's right, because guess what? That also puts them at a greater risk for being tired and their safety.
They work 24 on, they work 48 off. That's not my own schedule. What kind of schedule do I have? 24.
Let somebody that.
I apologize. So I'm curious, this council, which Baudier's been on for 10 years, Mueller's been on for 4 years, Craig Johnson's been on for 4 years, they never submitted but one ordinance to help the Harahan Fire Department. Why? Why is the urgency now?
I don't know if that's true, it's not true. The urgency is now.
I can't hear you.
The urgency is now because I've met with these men, and I am new, and I'm ready to do something for them. That's the only reason there's any kind of urgency now.
So you want to do something for them, but it's unfortunately going to inadvertently hurt a lot of the seniors and the people who don't make enough money to actually afford that. There are other considerations. How many calls does the fire department get for fires every year? Sure it does. It does matter. Have there been any fatalities with fires? How many? But this is something we'd like to know. How many? How many, Jason? You don't know. So you don't know how many calls they make a year. You don't know if there have been any fatalities. If we are indeed in grave danger all of a sudden, even though the department's been like this for the 18 years that Todd said he's been the chief. Correct?
About 275. Average of about 275.
The $400,000 that was given to Chief Walker that the last administration's council fed him, how would that have helped the fire department? The $400,000 that was given to Walker during the last 4 years, what it is? How would that have helped the fire department? $400,000 that was instead given to Walker, how would that have helped the fire department instead? My point is that the council has been neglecting the fire department for decades. But now all of a sudden there's this urgency. And we're in grave danger. We're not. Also, JP comes to assist. How long does it take JP to get on the scene? Jason, how long does it take JP to assist? Jason, why don't you know if they have proper, efficient backup? Are we in grave danger? Do they not show up, or they show up 10 minutes later? What is it? Answer my question. You don't know. Huh? So you don't know. So you went up there and you decided to write an ordinance to impose on everyone, and you don't know half of the facts that I know. I'm asking you the question that I know the answer to. Why don't you know? Why don't you know? You just want to impose things on other people. You're supposed to represent us. So, why couldn't you answer that? My point is, I don't think that you really put that much into it, and I don't think that you thought that you'd have such a revolt that you have had. I think that you thought everybody would just roll over for it and give it. Not to me, to the ordinance that you put in. I don't care what you try to do to me, Jason. I know what you are.
Move on.
So the whole not sneaking thing, to impose a thing like that on people, as opposed to letting them vote on it, how can you think that that's not sneaky? Or underhand? You have an authoritarian problem. You just want to impose things on everybody. We ask you questions, you don't answer us. We send you messages, you don't answer us. We come here, you don't have answers. What happened to transparency? What happened to the things that you campaigned for? Huh? You don't have any answers, right? Why don't you have answers? You're just not gonna answer because you don't have answers? Huh? You're a disgrace, Jason. You should have answers for the people.
the fire department, obviously. Not looking forward to this. Okay, to answer the last question, by the way, that's a hard act to follow, but to answer the last question, it's 4 to 8 minutes for the next fire truck to get to the scene if they're in quarters. That answers that question. Seems to me like everybody's, everybody was upset, we get it. The answer seems to be go for a millage. I'm here to tell you for these guys, we've been talking to councilmen and mayors and asking for that. And it doesn't seem that they didn't want to do it because they didn't think it would pass. It didn't come up just now. We've been going to council meetings and pleading for the last 4 or 5 years. And I'm sorry? We've been doing this for a long time. We've been asking for a long time. So it's nothing new. So for everybody that thinks it's something new, it's not. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to say was that we've had people, on Facebook, of course, and then just in the audience a little bit ago, well then why do y'all stay? Why don't y'all leave, go find another job? Fair questions? Absolutely. The answer is we wanted to stay and to fix the problem and be a part of the fix as opposed to running away from it. Maybe we do need to find another job.
I heard that loud and clear within the first 10 minutes. So now I think that we need to look at solutions, whether it's a millage, whether it's a subcommittee, whether it's more grant writers. I'll volunteer to grant write. I have experience in that also. Or if we need to facilitate what's the next step. I'm really sorry that we were not able to see the budget because I haven't seen the budget. I know you cut your presentation short because the fee was recalled, right? So you cut your presentation short, and I was hoping to get a little bit more informed.
The presentation was based on $40, and it just wasn't necessary.
But still, it would have given us a basis. So I would have felt more informed to be able to walk back and say, so what is the solution? What can we do as a community? We need fire department, but what can we do? And like I said, I was hoping we'd get a little bit more information. So I'm here to say that I, Annette LeBlanc, will be part of the solution if you'll have me. Let me know how I can help. We've got to have a solution. We need a fire department. All right, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Terry Bologna. I'm at 306 East Avenue. I'm really new to Harahan, all of a year and a half, like the young lady that came up not too long before me. New to Louisiana, all of 4.5 years. I made a concerted decision to move to Harahan. I drove my realtor nuts. I want to live in Harahan. I want to live in Harahan. I drove him nuts for 2.5 years till I bought my home in Harahan. I'm a little astonished at some of what I've heard tonight. I'm absolutely appalled at the lack of support for our firefighters when people seem to think they should work 3 full-time jobs to support their families. I'm not from Louisiana, but where I come from, our firefighters are paid a living wage. And I'm gonna tell you, as high as the taxes are here, they're still cheaper than any taxes I have ever paid in my entire life on the East Coast. Our firefighters got paid a living wage, and if they wanted to make a little bit more, or if their wives wanted to be able to stay home, then they worked 2 and 3 jobs. I already know that our firefighters all work 2, 3, or 4 jobs. One of them is actually my most wonderful plumber. That's his 2nd job, and he does an amazing job, and I'm eternally grateful for that. He shouldn't have to do that, though, to put food on the table, to help take care of his kids and send them to school. It's wrong for us to think that. I don't understand how your millages work. From my world, it's a tax. I don't understand how long it takes to put them into place. My understanding that this conversation started was because you recognized something needed to be done now. It had not been done. You wanted to start the conversation. You wanted to bring it to the forefront and make it public. And for that, I thank you. Despite the hate and discontent you've been able to deal with. How long does it take to get a millage up? how long does it take to get it started once it comes in?
Sure. So to put a millage on the October ballot, we've already been told it's too late for that. To put a millage on the November ballot, we would have to have that millage package ready and submitted for the middle of July. If that millage was voted on and voted for, we would not be able to collect that millage until the end of next tax year, so the beginning of 2021.
Is there any way, and I don't know much about the Harahan budget, I've only recently started following it. I have looked and realized that y'all have brought this, because I went and looked at what meeting minutes I could find online, and it's come up a number of times. Quietly, but it's come up. Quietly and politely, it's come up. But is there any way, are there any reserve funds or any emergency funds or funds that could be reallocated for the short term if we knew that the millage was going to get passed, or if in November, and would this be helpful, if in November a millage does get passed, and a reasonable one, are there any reserve funds or other funds that are allocated elsewhere that could be reallocated on the short term to help them out immediately before the millage starts coming in?
There are none.
Oh, well, there was a hope. Thank you. That's just my 2 cents. I mean, we need to do something. I don't know what else we can do. I don't know if there's a chance where community involvement could help, or if it would be helpful to come help at the fire station, not as volunteers, because that is an arduous job. And I'm going to tell you, I think all of you that you do this, being a firefighter, and I've known a few, I almost had one for a son-in-law once. But it's not a job, it's an avocation, it's a calling, and you wouldn't be happy if you did anything else. So, thank you for that. And thank you for letting me carry on.
Eddie Gregory, 366 East Avenue. Hey, look, I just heard a lot of people agree on something and they don't even realize they're agreeing on it. Don't we all agree that we need a better fire department? Agree on that? Well, that's maybe a poor choice of words. Not that you're all bad, but to get more of what y'all need, all right? So I think we all agree on that. Everybody's pissed off about the $40 a month. I mean, I get it, all right? You just said it's going to be the end of 2021 before, if we voted on a millage, we're 2021 before you need money, get any money. Is that correct?
2021 before you see any money, yes.
How soon you need money right now? Chief?
Yeah.
Right now?
Of course.
Okay, so life is a compromise. We're not going to get what we want. You're not going to get what you want. How about we do something with the water bill? Maybe just, now hear me out before everybody starts screaming, all right? So, do $20 a month, short term, and make that in the bill, in whatever ordinance or whatever you're gonna do, only, just, you're saying no before you hear anything. That's the problem with you and other people like you. I'm giving a solution and you keep your mouth shut. So look, I'm not saying, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want a $100 million water bill. I don't want it. But what I do want is these guys to have what they need. Because look, if I'm on fire, I want them to have $4 million to get there right now. And I'll bet you everybody in here, if you on fire, you ain't gonna give a shit about your water bill. Excuse my language. So look, let's just do this. We vote on a millage. Is there any way to get a special vote sooner than that?
There is, that would cost about $25,000.
All right. So the earliest we can vote on this is November. So let's vote on it. And we vote on the millage with one exception. As soon as we vote on the millage and it passes, if it doesn't pass, all of this is gone. If it passes, $20 a month on your water bill until, and only until, they can collect on the millage. Look, what's wrong with that? So what do you suggest? It's better than what you got now? Well, okay, so what are you suggesting? You know what? I don't drive a Ferrari because I can't afford it. You can't afford Harahan? For sale sign. Go. I'm not a politician, I'll tell you. I don't care. I've been here 18 years, so you can sit your ass down and look. I'm just as much, look.
My name is Jimmy Pratlove. I live at 645 Randolph. I'm just a few years short of being a lifelong resident of this city of Harahan. For over 36 years, I fought fires in this city of Harahan. I fought fires when there was no gear to wear. We weren't bunkered out. These guys need to be bunkered out. I will not knock a firefighter. They need help. That is your problem, Mayor Bodier. You made speeches that you could move this city forward and bring in new revenues to take care of all of its problems. Well, it's time for you to do that. And as far as Station 25, I heard it come from a warehouse. I developed that station. I drew that station up. I worked on that station from the ground up. It was designed to be for volunteers and paid people. It can be modified to put Todd's Chief St. Cyr's 20-something people in there if needed. I will ask this of you, Chief. Where did you go?
I'm over here so I can hear you, Chief.
Okay, Chief St. Cyr, all I'm asking that would you see that that building is properly maintained.
We're trying.
The insurance underwriter said it was one of the best locations because it's straight up Hickory and out Colonial. I want to remind you of something. Remember it was me that trained you?
That's right. That's right.
People, I don't know the answer to it, but something does have to be done. I know what it's like to fight fires without equipment. And I don't want to see these guys do it. Two hardest points in my life in fighting fires is when I went in a closet and discovered a little 10-year-old boy dead from smoke inhalation. That tore me up pretty good. The next hardship I had to present the flag to a fallen firefighter to his wife. That was Lawrence Juju Roach. I hope these guys don't have to do that. I hope Todd don't have to do that. I hope no fire chief has to do that. But again, something has to be done, and I don't have the answer. If some of you people can remember receiving a letter asking for a donation, I don't know if any of you people here had that. I'm the one who wrote those letters. The $15 charge, as you see on your bill, tax bill, I'm the one who put that on there through Carlo Ferrera. The 5 mills we got right now, I pushed that over onto Mayor Mosca. Told him these people that at that time were ready to receive food stamps. That's how low the pay was. He jumped in on it and got the Harahan on track, and they got that. But that was then, this is now. They can't operate without money. I can't afford $40, so I don't know how they're gonna work it. I'm just asking that this council comes up with a better solution. Maybe it'd be good if they did put it to the vote of the people. But one way or another, something's gotta be done. Like I said, I will not knock the fire department or any firefighter. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I want to thank you all for coming out and listening. I heard a lot of positive things here tonight. I hope that we have your attention. I hope that we keep your attention. And we'll put more information out there as to where we're going in the future. Thank you. Have a safe drive home.